Inflation means that the purchasing power of money decreases due to the increase in the price level of goods and services. What is impressive here is not only the increase in the prices of certain goods or services, but also the decrease in purchasing power as a result of the increase in the general price level of goods and services. Another factor to be taken into account is that inflation is not a one-time increase in the prices in question, but this increase is continuous. To give an example to better understand the concept of inflation, let's assume that the amount you spent on grocery shopping a year ago was $50. If you can buy the same products from the market for $100 a year after this shopping, this indicates that annual inflation is quite high. In other words, it indicates that purchasing power decreases as the price of goods increases in a year. What are inflation types? There are types and subtypes into which the concept of inflation is divided. We can list the types of inflation as follows. Types of inflation by price increase rate. Moderate inflation. It is a term used for situations where general price increases occur at low levels and inflation expectations are not formed. Moderate inflation can also be called creeping inflation. This type of inflation, which can show different rates for each economy according to time and place, will not have negative effects on the economy. High inflation. It is a type of inflation that can harm the economy. In this type of inflation, the functioning of the markets may deteriorate, uncertainties regarding the future may be high, and the ability of money to be a measure of value and a savings instrument may be greatly weakened. Hyperinflation. It is a type of inflation that occurs at a very high rate. The feature of hyperinflation, which causes money to lose its function, is that it causes market transactions to be made in foreign currency, not the national currency, and it collapses the national monetary system. It usually occurs when the country is going through very harsh conditions and these countries may have to switch to a new currency. Types of inflation by causes. Demand inflation. Demand inflation occurs when aggregate demand exceeds supply, causing prices to rise continuously. Cost inflation. As a result of the increase in the costs of goods and services, which are the inputs of production, cost inflation occurs with the continuous increase in prices. Another factor in the formation of this type of inflation may be that companies want to increase their profit rates. Although the labor, raw material, energy and input costs used by the companies in production are fixed, the increase in prices for profit causes inflation. Structural inflation. In markets where there is no perfect competition, situations such as high profit margins of firms or inability of supply to meet demand cause structural inflation. What are the effects of inflation? High inflation has many temporary or permanent negative consequences for the country. Some of those: increasing inequality in income distribution, rising borrowing costs, decline in real incomes, decreased tendency to save and decrease in investments, business uncertainty.